Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Welcome, dear devotees, Astha and Nishtha, both with us here today. That is fantastic. And
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Astha, Nishtha. And you'll have to remind me which one is which.
Yeah, we will join our video in a while.
Okay, good. Yeah, take your time. And then we also have Arshana Mataji. She has joined us.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. How are you doing today?
Hare Krishna. Good, Mataji.
Good. Okay, fine. And we are also broadcasting it on Facebook. You see the delay in there, isn't there on Facebook? We have long stopped singing, but it's still coming up there. So very nice. So how was Janmashtami for both of you?
Janmashtami, and we had get together for Srila Prabhupada's
appearance there?
Oh, yes.
Very nice.
Yes, Mataji.
Should I make a guess? Who's Astha? Who's Nishtha?
Yeah, sure.
The one with the longer hair is Astha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay, good. So we'll just give a couple of minutes for others to also join us. Maybe we'll start 5 minutes past the hour and have Aruni Mataji also joined us. But yeah, Aruni Mataji was there momentarily. I can't see her now.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Yeah, there she is. So you're up in Seattle, right?
Yeah, still for this month. Yeah.
For this month, okay, good. So did you drive to Seattle or fly to Seattle?
No, we flew.
You flew. So yeah. How is the situation on planes?
They're not doing the alternate seating. They're filling all the seats. Yeah. So everybody has to wear a mask, of course. They're filling all the seats, and they give you like this bag when you enter, so that there's no contact. They give you this paper bag with some snacks and stuff right in the beginning when you enter the plane.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. I'm just trying to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much the same, except that they don't serve food in the aisles and everybody's wearing a mask. But otherwise, it's, it's about the same.
How do
they were doing alternate seating, every alternate seat empty, middle seats empty last month, but not this month.
And so when they were doing alternate seats, they had raised the prices also, or no?
No. Prices, I mean, you could, I don't know about now, but you could get really good fares.
Oh, okay. As soon as the demand, well, aeroplane works on, on that principle. Supply and demand. Yeah. Supply and demand. Yeah, on both the sides. Yeah. Okay, so let us get started. We have also got Preeti Radhika joined us. Preeti, we were just waiting for you to join us.
Hare Krishna, Ma.
I'm just kidding. Okay, and Rakesh Prabhu is also here with us somewhere. He's not here, but he's in some room. Okay. So I'm going to start recording here. And we'll bring up the Vigyapti Panchika prayers. That's what we start with every time. And I can swear that I had those up and running a few minutes ago. And I will share my screen with you and you can confirm. And we'll do the reading order a little later, not right now. Okay, so sharing, tell me, can you see or can you not? I almost sound like an optometrist. Okay.
We can see.
You can see? Okay, good. And I'd like to join Hemlata Mataji, who has joined us on Facebook, as well as Sonia Mataji. Thank you so much for joining the call. And we'll get started. So with a brief prayer to the spiritual master and the Vigyapti Panchika prayers, we are recording this call and we are also broadcasting this on Facebook and YouTube. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य
Sorry.
मत्समो नास्ति पापात्मा नापराधी च कश्चन परिहारेऽपि लज्जामि किं भुवे पुरुषोत्तमा युवतीनां यथा यूनि यूनं च युवतौ यथा मनोभिरमते तद्वन् मनो मे रमतां त्वयि भूमौ स्खलितपादानां भूमिरेवावलम्बनं त्वयि जातापराधानां त्वमेवा शरणं प्रभु गोविन्द वल्लभे राधे प्रार्थये त्वामहं सदा तदीयमिति जानातु गोविन्द मां त्वया सह राधे वृन्दावनाधीशे करुणामृतवाहिनी कृपया निजपादाब्जा दास्यं मह्यं प्रदीयताम्. Okay, let's see who all are there because I need to prepare a reading order for all of you. So I will write one.
The order. I'll just create the.
You created one? Oh, I did not see you here on my console.
I'm creating.
You're creating it. Okay, good. Yeah, it's in good hands now. I have no desire whatsoever to create reading orders. Okay, that's good. So we have Shraddha-devi Mataji and Neera and Kathy also joined us. Yeah, go ahead, Aruni Mataji. You were saying something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's getting hot. I'm going to switch on the AC. If it's too much noise, just tell me. I'll turn it off. Okay.
Okay. You can switch on the AC, go on mute, right? Put yourself on mute, and whenever you have to speak up, you can, unmute yourself, and we'll tell you at that time. Yeah, we don't want you to dissolve right in the middle of the class. Okay. So, Preeti, how hot is it in your area?
What? No, today it's hot. Generally, it's not been hot, but today it's been
Yeah.
hot.
I remember August to be good, beautiful. I went to Seattle in August, which was very good. Yeah. So it's beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah. No, I was asking Preeti Radhika how bad it is in her area.
Oh, it's pretty hot.
Pretty hot.
I was joking. Excuse me.
Oh boy. Yeah, drink some water.
Yeah.
Yeah, Foster City usually is colder. It's even colder than San Francisco. But it's hard. I can tell you that. Yeah. Then
Yes, Mataji, it was 100 degrees yesterday also.
There you go. And we had a power cut, right? So
yeah, power cut. Yeah. Mataji, announcement is given like from today to Wednesday night. There will be some power cuts. So we.
Oh, really? So I'm glad I'm not there.
No, it is not just our Foster City, California, across California.
Due to fire prevention, to prevent fire, they are cutting off the power, right?
Not only fire, but because the supply, total supply of energy is limited, and because the heavy consumption is there in summer, so we have to. They also sent us. I can forward that to the group, because we have to also try to save energy from our side, and how to keep ourselves hydrated, and those tips are also there in that.
Yeah. That is very important, and that is where that is when now when we are facing a situation like this, now the words that we read in our scriptures that Krishna has got unlimited energy, right? So no power cuts in Vrindavan for sure. And anything that we try to create, you see, it's exhaustible, and Krishna is inexhaustible, avyayam, right? Avyayam does not get exhausted. You see how you put sugar in a box and you start taking sugar out and it gets exhausted, the levels go down. Of everything, the level goes down, right? Like that. Yeah.
Mataji, I have posted the order. I'll
Perfect.
add Sonal Mataji. I'm creating a new order. I'll add with Sonal
Mataji.
No, Hare Krishna, Neera Prabhu, I can't read, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Then we have the order, Mataji.
Okay, then let's go. I'm going to start sharing the screen again with all of you. And desktop number 2, the Vigyapti Panchaka prayers coming up in front of you. Okay.
So,
And Danvat Pranam, Radha Kripa Prabhu. Yes.
so the order is Aruni Mataji, Astha Mataji, Nishtha Mataji, Preeti Radhika Mataji, Sudevi Mataji, Varsha Mataji, Niral, Khyati, Rakesh Prabhu, Shraddha Mataji.
And Garima can't read, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Mataji, we probably some devotee, we are expecting someone. If they come in, we might have to stop. I'll let you know. When we
If you come in, then tell them to join the class. You don't stop. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So who is going now? Aruni Mataji? On mute.
Yeah. So this one, is it the same tune? I've never done this before. So
No,
as what you know.
yeah, no, we just do the translations. Yeah.
Oh, the translation. Okay.
Yeah. Sanskrit.
Okay, that's better.
If you want to know, if you want to know the tune is on nityasankirtan.com. The recording is there available, so you can learn the tune from there.
Okay. O Purushottama, no sinner or offender is as bad as I am. How can I describe my shame? Just as the minds of young ladies take pleasure in a young man, and the minds of young men take pleasure in a young woman, kindly let my mind take pleasure in you alone. Then do I read that verse or the next? The
I know
translation?
somebody else will read. No, somebody else
Oh.
will read. Yeah.
Just as the ground is the only support for those whose feet have slipped, you alone are the only shelter for those who have offended you. O Srimati Radharani, beloved of Lord Govinda, this is my request. May you and Lord Govinda consider me one of your assistants.
O Srimati Radharani, O Queen of Vrindavan, you are a river flowing with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind to me and give me a little service at your lotus feet.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Okay, reflection time.
How do I describe my shame?
How do I describe myself? Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning, like how sinner and bad I am. How do I describe it?
Isn't it? And so we feel so bad about describing our shameful and our sinful activities to Krishna. So that's it's a good position to be in. But I wanted to let you know the reality. And the reality is that whatever things that we do here on the planetary system that we are on right now, there are planets above us, and there are creatures and beings above us who can see everything that is happening here, right? That's why you sometimes see that the demigods showered petals from the top. So how could they shower petals from the top if they were not looking at things, right? So the sun and the moon, the wind god, they're all witness to what we are doing, apart from, others as well. So although we might just think that we are all alone in a room and nobody's watching us, I mean, apart from God, who always watches everything, there are others also who can watch us from other planets like that. So I just thought I'll give you a statutory warning there. Okay, good. But that was a good point. Yeah. And then what else?
Hare Krishna Ma, I was thinking of this prayer, which I recite every night, is Agne Nayasu Patharai Asman. And then the translation goes, O my Lord, as powerful as fire, O omnipotent one, I offer you obeisances falling at the ground at your feet. Please lead me to the right path to reach you, for you know all that I've done in my past, so that there'll be no hindrance to my progress. Because Krishna knows what we have done and what we need. And just like in Bhagavad Gita, he says that I provide what you lack, and I carry, am I saying it correctly? I preserve what you have, and I carry what you lack. So I was just thinking, he knows everything, so he only can help.
Very good, very good. And by the way, that I think was a verbatim recital of the translation, right?
Yes, because I say that
every night. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, if you just repeat things every day, then without even putting any efforts, then the words come to you. For example, like 3 months ago, you all did not know the Vigyapti Panchika prayers, right? And now, and I told you all not to memorize it, right? And despite my instructions, they came, right? Automatically, just by rote, because you were repeating it. Yeah, so rote is a good way.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Varshana Mataji, Dandatna.
Yes, Mataji, I also say this prayer every night before going to bed. And my reflection for today is that, yes, you are the only support. I being the offender, even still you support me. So I always feel protected and happy that, yes, there is someone to take care of me. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very good. Any other thoughts or comments? Before we go.
Prarthayet tvam aham sada.
Prarthayet tvam aham sada. Okay, so what does that mean?
So consider me one of your assistant also, and also I'd like to pray to you all the time. I mean,
Right. Prarthe is pray. Aham to
tvam
you.
aham sada. I mean,
Tvam to you. Aham I. And sada means always. Right? So I want to pray to you always. How much is always? Always means what?
Mataji, always is a very big goal. I mean, to get into that Krishna consciousness, I think that is a peak of everything. Hopefully, we can do that.
Yeah. So when you're thinking of Krishna, actually, when you start doing seva to Krishna, then because you're doing, like for example, Neeral Prabhu, you wash the dishes in the temple a lot. I have seen you hours of samadhi, right? So that is also considered to be a prayer, sort of service, come prayer, come worship to the Lord. It's not necessary that you would be, chanting or saying or reciting some prayers. You can also recite with your hands when you are making your efforts that, these are dishes used for Krishna's cooking and I'm going to make them best and polish them, they should shine the brightest and things like that. That's also prayer. So 24/7 is that, the general mood should be that of, being Krishna. What else is there? Hare Krishna Dilip Bhai Prabhu, Hare Krishna Sophie Mataji, Jiara Narsingham Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Chitra Mataji, I didn't see you. Do we need addition to the reading order? Neeral Prabhu? And Vijay Lakshmi Mataji, so good to have you here on the call. Radha Kipatu.
Yes, Mataji, I will add her.
Amila, welcome to the call. Okay, so anyway, she'll get added towards the end. So are there any more reflections before we go to the...
Mataji, you told us not to memorize the Vigyapti Panchaka, and we did. And then you told us to memorize 1.1.1 and we are struggling.
Please don't memorize. Henceforth, nobody is supposed to memorize 1.1.1. See, this is our nature. We are controllers. We don't want to listen to others giving us instructions. I'm just kidding. But that is what it is. I mean, no offenses. I'm not taking any offenses at what you said. But what I'm just saying is that this is who we are. We didn't want to take instructions of Krishna. We didn't like the instructions he gave. We wanted to do our own thing. So Krishna is saying, okay, here's this little material work for you. And you play. You do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
No, I thought that you said that when we don't try to memorize, that grace comes automatically, right?
No, no. I was saying that we should not approach a prayer from the conquering mood.
Okay.
Conquering mood, right? That this is something I'm conquering. Like, how we would sit before the exam with 6 books in a pile and go, done this one, done this one, done this one, right? And the pile reduces and we're all very happy. Not that.
Thank you, Mataji, for setting such a wonderful mood.
Yeah, it's all about the mood, actually. Yeah. Actually, you will realize that it's all about the mood, and Krishna looks at the mood, right? And Krishna is very magnanimous, actually. He will twist his rules he will twist the rules to the advantage of the other person, and he'll give his mercy like that. For example, Vidura, right? What was Vidura doing? Then Krishna came to his home, and he was
feeding the peels to the Krishna and throwing off the bananas.
Yeah, so he was supposed to feed him banana, and then in his ecstasy, he was throwing away the banana and giving the peel to Krishna, like that, like that. So, yeah, but Krishna took his mood, understood his mood, that he's being so ecstatic, he's completely, gone bonkers at my visit. So he was like that. Yeah. Good. Anything else? And let me go into the speaker view really quickly to see who all are there here. Okay, good.
Mataji, because you talked about Vidura, I just have one thing to say. In Mahabharata characters, Vidura is my favorite character.
You have a good choice.
I felt that I wish I had a friend like Vidura who can tell me what to do and what not to do. I always envy Dhritarashtra for that, like always giving counsel, which I really love about that character.
Fantastic. And should I tell you a trick of how things operate in the transcendental world vis-a-vis as compared to the material world?
Yes,
that you can still ask Vidura for advice. And he will give it to you.
Okay, Mataji.
Right? So I think before you joined, I was just telling, or maybe you were there on the call and I didn't see you when Astha or Nishtha was telling us about, she was telling us about, how can I describe my shame? And I was telling her that, well, whatever we do and whatever we are ashamed of, sometimes we do things in our privacy that we are ashamed of when nobody's there looking at us. But then I was telling her that there are beings on the higher planets who can see what is happening here. So which means that you can always have a connection with people and devotees on the upper planet. And you know who is Vidura, right? He's Yamraj. Yeah. So like that. So you can always ask for guidance. And of course, Kṛṣṇa is always there. And ask, but that's a very good point and a good taste. Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Chitra, as usual, for your fantastic reflections. What else? And then Radha Kripa Prabhu is saying that we are part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa, so this independence has also come from him only. That is true. We are minute part and we are exhibiting that. And Vetya-Diyanti Meghar is actually pointing us a little bit subtlety, and thank you so much. And she's saying it was not Vidura, but Vidura's wife who was peeling and giving the peels. Thank you so much for that. And Radhika Prabhu was saying that Kṛṣṇa is supremely independent. Yes, and we try to be supremely independent and we fall flat on our faces in trying to do that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else that we have that comes to your mind from the Vigyapti Panchika prayers? And if we have exhausted ourselves, then here's coming up another opportunity, and that is the universal form of the Lord. That is chapter number 11 of the Bhagavad Gita. So we'll start the next in line. We'll start reading this, and we'll be doing, Aruni Mataji, for your benefit, we'll be doing 2 translations per person. Okay. So whenever your chance comes in the reading order, maybe Niral Prabhu, you can read it out one more time for all of us. And let's just follow the reading order.
Yes, Mataji. The reading order is Aruni Mataji, Astha Mataji, Nishtha Mataji, Priti Radhika Mataji, Sudevi Mataji, Varshana Mataji, Chitra Mataji, Niral, Khyati, Rakesh Prabhu, and Shraddha Mataji.
All right.
Now I think next would be Sudevi Mataji, because
Devi. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Chapter 11, the Universal Form. Text 1. Arjuna said, by my hearing the instructions you have kindly given me about these most confidential spiritual subjects, my illusion has now been dispelled. Text 2. O Lotus-eyed One, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance of every living entity and have realized your inexhaustible glories.
Text 3, Hare Krishna. O greatest of all personalities, O supreme form, though I see you here before me in your actual position, as you have described yourself, I wish to see you have entered into the cosmic manifestation. I want to see that form of yours. Text 4. If you think that I am able to behold your cosmic form, O my Lord, O Master of all mystic power, then kindly show me that unlimited universal self. Hare Krishna.
Text 5. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, O son of Pritha, see now my opulences, hundreds of thousands of varied, divine and multicolored forms. Text 6. O best of the Bharatas, see here the different manifestations of Adityas, Vasus, Rudras, Ashwini Kumaras and all other demigods. Behold the many wonderful things which no one has ever seen or heard of before. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 7. O Arjuna, whatever you wish to see, behold at once in this body of mine. This universal form can show you whatever you now desire to see and whatever you may want to see in the future. Everything moving and non-moving, is here completely in one place. But you cannot see me with your present eyes. Therefore, I give you divine eyes. Behold my mystic opulence. Khyati.
Text 9. Sanjaya said, O king, having spoken thus, the supreme Lord of all mystic power, the personality of Godhead, displayed his universal form to Arjuna. Arjuna saw in that universal form unlimited mouths, unlimited eyes, unlimited wonderful visions. The form was decorated with the many celestial ornaments and bore many divine upraised weapons. He wore celestial garlands and garments, and many divine scents were smeared over his body. All was wondrous, brilliant, unlimited, all expanding.
Rakesh.
Yeah, Rakesh Prabhu is in another room. I hope he's hearing. Rakesh, you have to unmute yourself if you are unmute.
And which number? Text number?
12.
12.
12.
1 second.
12.
Okay. If 100,000 of suns were to rise at once into sky, 1 second, their radiance might resemble the effulgence of the Supreme Person in that universal form. Text 13. At that time, Arjuna could see in the universal form of the Lord the unlimited expansions of the universe, situated in one place, although divided into many, many thousands.
Then, bewildered and astonished, his hair standing on end, Arjuna bowed his head to offer obeisances and with folded hands began to pray to the Supreme Lord. Arjuna said, My dear Lord Kṛṣṇa, I see assembled in your body all the demigods and various other living entities. I see Brahma sitting on the lotus flower, as well as Lord Shiva and all the sages and divine serpents. O Lord of the universe, O divine, O universal form. No. Did I read too much? No. I see in your body many. Yeah, I think it's somebody else's turn. I went ahead by the E or thing. Who's next? Sorry about that. Aruni Mataji, right? Back to Aruni Mataji.
Me? Okay. Text 16. O Lord of the universe, O universal form, I see in your body many, many arms, bellies, mouths, and eyes, expanded everywhere without limit. I see in you no end, no middle, and no beginning. Text 17. Your form is difficult to see because of its glaring effulgence, spreading on all sides like blazing fire, or the immeasurable radiance of the sun. Yet I see this glowing form everywhere, adorned with various crowns, clubs, and discs.
Text 18. You are the supreme primal objective. You are the ultimate resting place for all this universe. You are the inexhaustible, and you are the oldest. You are the maintainer of the eternal religion, the personality of Godhead. This is my opinion. Text 19. You are without origin, middle, or end. Your glory is unlimited. You have numberless arms, and the sun and the moon are your eyes. I see you with the blazing fire coming forth from your mouth, burning this entire universe by your own radiance. Hare Krishna. Although you are one, you spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying all peace, are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
Is it my turn, Preeti Radhika?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. All the various, I wasn't sure if both the twins read it. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishwa Devas, and the two Ashvis, the Marutas, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Text 23, O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth, and as they are disturbed, so am I.
Varshana Mataji, please go ahead. Sudevi Mataji said she can't read for them.
Okay, Prabhuji. Text 24. O all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you and your many radiant colors touching the sky, your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. Text 25. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the world, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth. In all directions, I am bewildered. Hare Krishna.
Text 26-27. All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings, and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. Text 28. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouths.
Text 29. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible scorching rays. Rakesh Prabhu, please go ahead.
On text
31.
31?
Yes, please.
One second. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. Text 32. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will slain. Thank you. Text 33.
Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. 34. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and the other great warriors had already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Fight, and we will vanquish your enemies in battle.
Text 35. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Kṛṣṇa in a faltering voice as follows. Text 36. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done.
Text 37. O Great One, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O Limitless One, God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Text 38. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuse about the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Mishta. You are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times and again and yet again. Obeisances to you from the front, from the behind, and from all sides. O abundant power, unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Priti Radhika Mother.
Yes. Text 4142. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Text 43. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power?
Text 44. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus, I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe.
Hare Krishna, text 46. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Text 47.
Hold on, just
Mataji.
yeah, just hold on. Something happened. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes. Means Mataji, text 47.
Yeah, it is. There's a little delay by the time it comes to your mission.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Mataji. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of clearing effulgence. Hare Krishna.
Text 48. O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Text 49. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Hare Krishna.
Text 50. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful. I'm now composed in mind, and I'm restored to my original nature. Rakesh, please read the next one. 52, text 52.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear." Text 53. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Hare Krishna. Text 54.
Thank you. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculations, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he suddenly comes to me. Hari Om, etc. Okay, favorite time of the day, reflection time. I was also thinking how nicely the words kind of got divided across the whole reading order, right? Somehow or the other. Ended here. So anything stuck your mind? Any words, anything, any happenstance?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Oh, you need to be added to the reading order then.
No, Mataji, I said I can't read.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, one thing which stuck to my mind was that how Arjuna, after seeing that Virat Roop, is bewildered, and I was thinking that that's why, like, how Bhakta always wants to see Kṛṣṇa with his two arms and a flute, and that is so blissful. And but I think other I don't know why somebody wants to see the four-armed forms of Lord Vishnu.
That's a Bhakta speaking. There you go. Yeah, because Bhakta four arms, and what is he holding in those four arms? That's the thing to note.
The conch, the wheel, the
lotus
chakra, Sudarshan chakra.
Yeah, and you know what? That Vishnu can use all four of them as weapons. Do you know that? Did you know that?
Yeah, at the same time.
Yeah. You can use the lotus flower also to kill. Like that. So that form is more of a controller, like that, right?
Can I just ask, how does he use the lotus flower to kill?
To kill. This Nityananda just used a blade of grass to kill, right? Or Krishna just used his finger to kill, like that. So Krishna is capable of doing anything. So what I was pointing out was that don't think that the lotus flower is just, it is also a weapon. He can just do anything. That is Krishna. Understandable, inconceivable. That is what he is, right? Yeah.
What? 1 minute. Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, Niral Prabhu, please go ahead.
Please go ahead, Mataji. Please.
Mataji, I always feel that he has lotus flower in his hand and the conch shell to bless the people. You see, mostly, he has the conch shell to keep on the head of. I remember he kept it on the head of his devotee, and he was Dhruva Raj. So he was delivered. So I always felt that conch shell and lotus flower are used for blessing the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That he can use it for anything he wants, right? Yeah.
Can I
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Kathy will have something very nice.
I thought of that Shankha Chakra, Sam Dam Danda Bhed. So all these four are also represented in the equal manner.
Please now give us that correlation.
So I think Padma is for Sam to explain everything with the peaceful way.
Yes.
Then comes Shankh. So if we don't listen, then he blows his Shankh. So Shankh captures the attention. Shankha Chakra. Then comes the Gada, right? So Gada is for Danda, right? Like if we, and Chakra is for Bhed, that cuts the head from the body. So that cuts the ego from the body consciousness.
Very good, very good. There you see, I knew that she will have
excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Khyati Mataji.
My grandmother used to say this.
You have, sometimes I wish I could have, met your grandmother. She was so full of nice stories, yeah?
Yeah. I didn't realize at that time that, like why all these, like I used to ask her question, and when I asked to my mom, she's like, I don't know, go ask your grandmother. And she would have explanation for everything.
Yeah, you are so lucky to have a grandmother like that, right? Yeah, because usually I actually also, the parents are busy with the household, the grahasthas, right? And the grandparents are a little bit retired, so they have more time in their hand and they're able to tell.
Yeah, but my grandmother used to say, you will never realize until you ask questions.
Yes.
Sometimes don't, accept things as they are, but also like ask questions so that you understand the deeper meaning.
Exactly. Which book is not questions? Which book is full of questions?
Sorry, Mataji?
Which book is full of questions?
Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam. Conversations, questions. When you look at the question, actually in the beginning itself, it says, it starts with 6 questions being asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. And I know Garima Mataji can't talk, but she has memorized those 6 questions. So it starts with the 6 questions. And then in the second chapter, Sut Goswami actually says that, Muniya sadhu prishtoham bhavat birloka mangalam. So he says that the questions that you have asked are for the benefit, that if I answer them, they will benefit not only you, but they will benefit the whole mankind. So that is the right kind of question that you should ask, right? Like somebody once in Prabhupada's class asked Prabhupada, have you seen Indra? And then Prabhupada got annoyed and he said, how does it matter to you whether I've seen Indra or not, right? And then one of his devotees sitting in the class said that actually Indra will benefit if he sees Prabhupada. There you go. So we are so lucky. We are so lucky that we got the association of Prabhupada here, right? We don't know whether he's gone to heavenly planet or to Indra to explain Krishna consciousness to him, but he definitely came here for us. So we're doubly lucky.
Hare Krishna. Can I say, Mataji? Mataji, Guru Maharaj said this time in his lecture that he wrote a letter to Terry. He said that I have got many doubts and skepticism that while I chant. And Guru Maharaj, the answer to this was that keep on chanting. This is the process. Keep on chanting. With chanting only, your doubts and skepticism will get over, will be cleared. So I really like that point, Mataji.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. And actually, one should not have blind faith also, right? One should ask questions. Don't accept things just blindly like that, right? For example, you have got a very severe pain in your stomach. And then you go to the doctor and you look at the doctor and the doctor says, he checks his pulse and then he says, okay, I'm going to operate on your brain. So now you're not going to say that he's a doctor, he knows the best thing, right? You have to ask questions. You have to say but the pain is in the stomach. Why are you operating on my brain? So similarly here also that you should ask questions. And sometimes the answer will be that it's written in the Shastras, and then you have that much of belief, then say, okay, that I'm starting with the premise that I don't understand it today. And some of the reasons we don't understand things is also because we have not yet reached that level. We don't yet have that qualification to be able to understand there, right? So we read a verse here, not get it, but 2 or 3 years down the line, after sufficient chanting, then the answer will be revealed to us. So those who have implicit faith in their spiritual master and in this personality of Godhead, yasya deve para bhakti, yasya deve para guru, tasyate kathita hi artha prakashante mahatmana. So those who have got implicit faith in the spiritual master as well as in the personality of Godhead, to them the imports of the Vedic literature are automatically revealed. They will get revealed to them. You have to have faith in your spiritual master.
Yes, Mataji, you said it so rightly. You see, my husband, before my marriage, you see, he went for the surgery for his kidney. There was a stone inside. So those days there was no laser, so they had to cut open. So the doctor saw the X-ray, and the X-ray was kept, you see, ulta. And he said that is the yes, and he said that it is on the right side. My husband, he was still conscious a little bit, he could hear. He said, no, it is on the left side, please check. So then they checked it and they operated him on the left side.
There you go. Yeah. It happens sometimes that they remove the wrong kidney. Wrong means the good one. Yeah, we have got 4 defective senses. We make mistakes. Yeah, this will be a good, this your husband's example will be a good example to give when talking about the 4 defects. Now you're teaching right nowadays, you have so nice examples always from army and things like that. Yeah, very nice.
Hare Krishna Ma. I was thinking that Sanjaya said to the Dhritarashtra that after seeing the universal form, Arjuna reacted like this and that. So that means Dhritarashtra heard the whole universal form, and any normal person would have been like, oh my God, that's God, so we should do whatever he wants us to do. But he still was so blinded by his greed and everything that he did not change.
Lack of faith, too much greed. Yeah, very good point, very well pointed. Yeah. I just wanted to add something to what Priyanka Mataji was saying. I was trying to recollect the verse, and when she was saying that, Arjuna said that I'm perturbed by seeing your universal form, and then Krishna reduces that, becomes the 4-handed. He said, no, I want to see the form in which I am habitual of seeing you, which is the 2-handed form. And that's what the devotees like. So actually in the first canto, 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's a verse that I think 26 or 25, Mukshavo ghora rupan hitva bhutan pratinata bhuta prajinata narayana kalashanta bhajanti hi anusuyave. So what that means is that, those who want to get liberated from this material world, they ghora rupan, so they ignore the ghastly form of the Lord, right? They ignore the ghastly form of the Lord, and they want to go and worship the Shanta, Shant form of the Lord, bhajanti anasuyave, and they worship the Shant form of the Lord without any envy. It's a very natural thing for anybody who wants to get out of this material world, will not go for, worshipping these kind of forms there. Good. Any more comments on this?
Yeah, can I say something?
Yes, Solan Mataji. Is there some way to adjust the camera on your computer? Is it on? Yes, this is much better.
I liked one of the verses. I'm not sure which, but where Krishna says, "Time I am, and I'm the great destroyer of the world, and I will destroy everyone except you." So if we put it in perspective in this Kali Yuga, also he says in chapter 4 that he will come down and deliver all his devotees, and everyone else will be destroyed.
There you go. As Kalki, yes, that's what he does.
Yeah.
Krishna takes care of his devotees. I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Yoga Shema Mahameham.
Yeah.
Isn't that a fantastic thing? That he's saying, I'll preserve what you have and I will carry what you lack.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes what happens is that forget about getting, forget about somebody caring for us what we don't have. Whatever we have also gets lost, right? A flood comes and everything is washed away. Yeah. What to think about the dreams of winning a lottery? Whatever you had got washed away like that. But on the contrast, see the promise that Krishna is giving you. And still we are such fallen souls. Matsamo nasti papatma na paradi chakashchana. We are such fallen souls that we do not want. We do not want to listen to that. We do not want to follow that. And that is our shame. And that is our misfortune. Actually, I must say that's the misfortune that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are also joined by Suyash Prabhu and Bhaktin Varsha here today. So, and Vijay Lakshmi Mataji has joined us from the East Coast. Anybody else that I'm missing here? So, Niral Prabhu, you have action coming up your way. More updates to the reading order. And Vijay Lakshmi Mataji is on the Facebook. She's joining us and she's saying, nicely said, Khyati Mataji, about the Sam, Dam, and Danda and Bheda. The lotus, the chakra, the gada, like that. Yeah. Anything else that you liked from there? Any words that struck your mind about the universal form of the Lord?
When Arjuna says, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it stuck to me. Like, he's saying right away there, a very knowledgeable person. And many people say Krishna, Vishnu, and all, so much confusion, right? Here, there is a direct address.
Yes, and actually, when we were reading the verse, I was also struck by that. I was also struck by that verse because I was thinking that, what if you have a friend and suddenly one day you realize that this friend is God? It should be such a big shock, isn't it? And that's the kind of shock that Arjuna had went through. Like he says, oh my goodness, I was lying down, I was joking you, I was calling you, hey Yadav, hey Saketi, like that. Yeah, and to know that you are the Supreme Personality of God. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a very interesting thing, because in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we have, and you all know, Vadanti tattva tattva vidas tattvam yad jnanam advayam dhammeti parmatmeti bhagwan iti shabdate, right? So they say that the absolute truth is known in its three features. And what are the three features of the absolute truth?
Brahman, Paramatma,
and
Bhagwan.
And Bhagwan, right? Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. So what exactly is it? I'm Brahman, I'm Paramatma. So what exactly does it mean to find out about these things, right? So Brahman is actually talking about the eternality of things. Brahman is representative of that. Right? So intelligent human beings, they observe around themselves and they know and they realize that things around me are perishable. They perish. Can you give me examples of things that perish?
Fruits, vegetables, food items.
Food items, vegetables.
Humans.
Human beings perish. Animals perish. Relationships perish, right? Memory perishes, right? So they realize that things over here, they perish all the time. So then they are saying that I want eternal happiness. I want to have things that last longer. And that's what the scientists are trying to do all the time. And that's why you have genetically modified objects, right? Because, oh, this tomato, oh, this will likely perish very soon. So let me add some longevity to it. So I'll mess up with its gene structure and I'll produce a new variety of tomatoes, which will last longer. So we have this desire to have things last longer, including ourselves. So then they sit and they think and they conclude, actually, they analyze and they conclude, and they reason and they conclude that if I am desiring longevity, this means that longevity must exist. If I'm looking for eternal happiness must exist somewhere, right? Eternality must exist. And they try to look for that. And that is the Brahman feature of the Lord, which is saying Sat. It's there, always there. And then, when people understand that while they are here in this material world, they realize that sooner or later, now we had talked about earlier that And Radha Prabhu had also mentioned that we are parts and parcel of Krishna, so we want to control, we don't want to listen. When we were saying that you told us to memorize 1.1.1 and we could not memorize it, and you told us not to memorize Vidyapati Panchika prayers and we memorized it, like that, right? So we try to control, be our own controllers, independent. And then at some point in time, we realize that there is some kind of a control that is going on. Most of us, most of the time, are busy in just enjoying, right? Or try to make both ends live, or just try to live and keep our nose above the water. Otherwise, it is habu and dubu, right? Habu and dubu all the time. Maya is doing this to us, right? Underwater, then becomes a little bit better. And then again, she dunks us inside. That's what happens in our life. So they understand that there's somebody more intelligent than I am who's controlling all this. How come the seasons change? Somebody must be controlling it. How come the sun rises and the sun sets? There must be somebody, doing it. The sun is rotating around the earth is rotating. That's what science says. So, this rotation and all that is happening, must be something controlling. Why do white hair appear on my head at a certain age, right? Even though I don't want it, somebody is controlling that. So they realize that there is some controlling aspect to things. And that controlling aspect is what is known as the Paramatma. The Paramatma controls. As Vishnu, he controls things which are there in the universe through him and his expansions, like that. So then they know about this controller. They know that there is some control happening, right? For example, we know that we have a president in our country and he controls the country, right? He's the supreme controller of the country, right? So we know this controlling aspect. Today he will say this, tomorrow he'll say that. Today he's allowed this, tomorrow he'll allow that, right? Today he will say you'll get the check in your mailbox, tomorrow he'll say you won't get it, like that. Okay, today you will get unemployment, no, you won't get it, you will get little, you'll get more. So you see all these controlling aspects and you're looking at that person only at his controlling aspect, right? Now, if you want to go further and you want to know that how does the President of the United States, where does he live? What is his house? How does he look like? What does he eat? What games does he play? Right? Then you really know, about the controller. So similarly, when you see all these controls going on and you say, okay, there's a Vishnu, and then you want to know how does Vishnu live? Where does he live? What is his house? How does his house look like? Then that is Bhagavan. Then you're trying to know the Bhagavan aspect of the Lord, right? Not the controlling aspect, not Bhagavan in his office, Bhagavan at home where he's playing with his cowherd boyfriends. He's eating here, he's dancing with the gopis, he's playing on his flute, right? He's up in the mountains, up in deep in the forest, like that. So that is, so Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdate. So you'll know that in these three features. Okay, good. Anything more? Anything more that you want me to talk about, cover?
What is that you said for Brahmeti?
Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti Shabdate. Brahmeti, I said, is Brahman, the impersonal feature of the Lord. Brahman stands for eternity, eternality, something which doesn't perish. Okay, so here, now my question, I have a question for you, and my question to you is that we did chapter number 10, right? All these months we were doing chapter number 10, right? For quite some time. Chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Right, no? Yes? Do you remember?
Yes.
Any of the old timers remember what we were doing in chapter 10?
The opulences of the absolute.
Opulences of the absolute. Okay, fine. There we go. So there's a quiz coming up here. Would you like to take a quiz?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go. We will have the answers and we'll have the markings at the end, but you all can take the quiz together.
How to order, like raise hand, or how to know how to do that?
Oh, you can all, it's a fun thing. You can all speak together. Doesn't matter. All right, first question coming up on a screen close to you. Let's see, what does it say? Who is the source of demigods and great sages?
Lord Kṛṣṇa.
Lord Krishna.
Okay, let's see. Krishna appeared dash first to Devaki and Vasudev.
In his original form.
Original form.
Okay. How can freedom from doubt and delusion be achieved?
Understanding transcendental philosophy.
Both A and B.
Both A and B? What do you say? What should I put? Team.
B.
B.
You want B? 2 words for B,
Both
3 words for
A and
B, 4 words for B. Okay, I'm going to put B. Understanding transcendental philosophy and being. Okay. Fear is due to?
Worrying about the future.
Is it? Okay. All right. Are penance and austerity required in Krishna consciousness?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Yo or no? Yes. Yes or
No.
Mataji, we do Ekadashis. Those are austerities, right?
Okay, so yes.
But to understand him properly, it doesn't come by penance and austerity alone. It comes by devotional service.
Yeah. So when these kind of questions are there, I would not give anybody a 0. Right? If they come up with an explanation and an idea of why they were saying it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then who develops all the good qualities?
One who engages,
One who engages in the devotional service of the Lord.
Anybody remember the verse that says that? For bonus, 15 points. Yes, Yasti Bhakti Bhagavata Kinchana Sarve Gunasate. All right. One who engages in the service of the Lord.
4.
How many great sages are known as the patriarchs of the living entities?
7.
7.
7.
Okay, 7. Then, what is the effect of knowing the greatness of Krishna?
One becomes fixed in devotional service.
Everybody agrees with that? Anybody not
Yes.
agree? Okay,
Yes.
yes. Devotional service. Okay, Krishna is that source of
Both A and B.
Both A and B.
both A and B. Everybody agrees?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Realize sources in Krishna consciousness derive satisfaction, pleasure, and bliss by
Hearing transcendental literatures and conversing about
conversing
Krishna.
about
Both A and B. Both A and B.
What is the verse? Come on, somebody remember that verse?
Machida madgat prana bodhayanta parasparam kathanta shamam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha.
There you go. 25 points. Yes. Okay. What is Bhakti Yoga?
taking
Buddhi
Krishna
Yoga.
Intelligence and mystic activities.
2. Taking Krishna consciousness in devotional life.
2 or 3? 3 or 2? 2 or 3?
3.
3.
I sound like a optometrist.
Mataji, the second is not very clear. Taking Krishna consciousness in devotional service, both are same, right? Krishna consciousness and devotional service is same, right?
Okay, so if they are okay, if that's then will you change your answer?
3.
B.
B.
B, Mataji.
B, Mataji. Okay, well, Bashana is so desperate. She's saying, I'm just going by her answer. Okay. Okay. But, okay. How does Krishna reciprocate to one who is engaged in devotional service properly, but is not intelligent?
B.
A.
B. By
Both
giving him
A
a
and
chance
B?
to progress and ultimately attaining him.
A and B.
Yeah, both A and B.
A and B.
It could be both A and B.
Says Vijaya Mataji, and we'll take her answer. Okay. You have reached the end of the quiz. Should we dare? Go for yourself? Okay, click next to review the results. So your score was 100, total possible scores were 20. So we made 2 mistakes. Okay, so let's go and see. Are they going to tell us? This was correct. Who is the source of demigods and gate sources? Lord Krishna. Correct. For 10 points. Krishna appeared in his original form. Correct. How can freedom from doubt and delusion be achieved? By not being
Okay. Both A and B. Okay.
both A and B. Yes. All right. Now, fear is due to dash. You got correct. And penance and austerity required in Krishna consciousness. You said yes, and we took it for 10 points. Then, who develops all the good qualities? You said devotional service. That was correct. And then, how many great yes of the living entities all over the world?
Sutra 25.
Yeah. The patriarchs means patriarch is also talking about,
Prajapatis.
Prajapatis. Yeah. Okay. And not the 7 great sages. Because Brahma was not very happy with the 7 great sages, because when Brahma comes, his job is to create people in this universe, give a body to a soul.
Mataji, could you tell what are the 25? Like 7 sages, 4 Kumaras?
I don't remember the top
11?
of my head, but I know Daksha and the Kashyap and all that, they are patriarchs. But I don't
14 Manus, are 14 Manus a part of it?
Yes, yes, they are also
So
there.
14 Manu, 7 sages, and 4 Kumaras. Is it 25?
No. Is it 25? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
No, but you can't say that. You can't call them Prajapatis. Kumaras were brahmacharis. They cannot Prajapatis. So
I know. I was just trying to find out who are the 25.
Okay, now that's your homework. But what I'm trying to say here is that Brahma was not very happy with 4 Kumaras because he said, you get married. They said, no, we don't want to get married. So he got angry, and from his between his eyebrows came Rudra, right? And Rudra was like that. Narad already didn't want to do, right? So then he said that
The Manus are progenitors, right, Mataji? Manus are also.
Yeah. So then, okay, so Devi, we are not discussing your homework here. To discuss it at your home. Okay, so because I lose my thought process, right? So he was, yeah. So then these Rudra was born, and Rudra started multiplying, and all the Rudras were pretty bad. They actually attacked Brahma. So Brahma then had some more mellowed people, more like him, and then we had these 7 sages. But the 7 sages were like Brahma. They were all into devotional service. They didn't want to produce children. That's later on, then when he produces Manu and the Prajapatis and all that come, then he was happy with them, because then they started increase and multiply. That is his job. That is Brahma's job here.
I want to see the question again, Mataji.
No, I won't show you. Kṛṣṇa is
for the homework.
Yes, you have to find names of the 25 patriarchs. That's the question.
Okay.
25 patriarchs, right? Okay, Kṛṣṇa is the source. Okay, you got that right. So I won't dwell on it. And I think you did 2 wrong questions already, right? Yeah, realize souls and Kṛṣṇa consciousness drive satisfaction. You Preeti Radhika quoted a verse from there. What is Buddhi Yoga? You told me that. And then here, how does Kṛṣṇa reciprocate to one who's engaged in devotional service properly? There was some debate over there, and finally I said I'm going to go with Vijay Lakshmi's answer, A and B. And what's the verse in Bhagavad Gita that supports this?
Upadrashta cha anumanta cha. That one, first one, and second one.
No. Upadrashta is observer, and Anumanta is giving him
sanction giver, permission.
He's not instructing, right? When you say when you say Upadrashta and Anumanta, there is no element of instruction.
Oh, yeah. So it is from 10th chapter. Okay.
Yeah, it's from 10th chapter. Give me that verse. All of you. Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita.
Oh, I give the knowledge from which that darkness is destroyed. That one.
Yes. Tesham evanukam patham aham ajnanam nachatam atmabhavasto jnanadipena bhashvata. Right? Okay. Anyway, so you can always go back and visit. So there we go. Come to the end of this, and I'm going to stop sharing. And now we are ready to go into what we all had asked for, and that was Brahma Samhita. Right? So let me see Brahma Samhita. Do I have Brahma Samhita online? We should have Brahma Samhita online. Oh, here we go. So you go to vedabase.io, and I'm going to start sharing my screen again with all of you. And we go to this verse here. Can you see my screen with the vedabase.io?
Yes.
Okay, right. So you go to all books, and very easy to remember, Brahma Samhita is last in the line. Okay, it's the very last book over here. You go to Brahma Samhita, and then there's a foreword which we should read the foreword. And actually, there's also an introduction to Brahma Samhita, which I would like to read, which is not there online, but it is there in this book. Now, how many of you have got this Brahma Samhita?
I have it.
We have, Mother.
I have it. Yeah.
Okay, who doesn't have it? That might be an easier question.
I also have, Mataji.
Anybody
You mean
doesn't?
online or the book?
The book.
I don't have it,
I
Mother.
don't have the book.
Okay, all right. So anyway, today most likely we will be finishing the preface, and then if there is introduction, I will be reading it from here. If you have the book with you, then you can follow along. Otherwise, you can always listen. I will go very slow. I'll go very slow. And Samhita Datta Mataji, thank you for joining us. If you want to jump on Zoom, please do jump. All right, so who's next to read? We had finished everything nicely with me being the last person to read. And so I want to go here.
Aruni Mataji.
Huh?
Oh, okay.
Aruni Mataji. Okay. Aruni, are you there with us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Forward. Shall I start?
Yeah, one paragraph each.
Do I start or no?
Yes, please. Please start. Yeah.
Forward. The materialistic demeanor cannot possibly stretch to the transcendental autocrat who is ever inviting the fallen conditioned souls to associate with him through devotion or eternal serving mood. The phenomenal attractions are often found to tempt sentient beings to enjoy the variegated position which is opposed to undifferenced monism. People are so much apt to indulge in transitory speculations even when they're to educate themselves on a situation beyond their empiric area or experiencing jurisdiction. The esoteric aspect often knocks them to trace out immanence in their outward inspection of transitory and transformable things. This impulse moves them to fix the position of the immanent to an indeterminate impersonal entity, no clue of which could be discerned by moving earth and heaven through their organic senses.
All right. I'll wait here. I'll stop here for two reasons. And am I in the gallery view here right now? What do you guys see on your screen?
The print.
We see the forward.
You are still seeing the forward? I have not started sharing. Okay, just give me a second here. I will stop the sharing because I wanted to show you something here. What happened? Yeah. Okay. Gallery view. I'd like you to welcome Mukesh Kumar. Do you see Mukesh Kumar here? Okay. Mukesh, can you say something? Say Hare Krishna so that we'll see you on the big screen. Unmute yourself and say something. Can you hear me, Mukesh? Please unmute yourself. Unmute. Yeah. Say something.
Hare Krishna.
Who does he look like? Any guesses?
Prabhuji. Rakesh Prabhuji.
He is Rakesh Prabhu's younger brother. He's joining us from Meerut in India. So let's give a warm welcome to Mukesh.
Hare Krishna
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So Mukesh, we call each other Prabhu and Mataji. Prabhu and Mataji. Prabhu means master, and we use the term Mataji just as a matter of respect. So even if I see a 5-year-old girl, I'll be addressing her as Mataji, just to show the respect, because we believe that everybody is a soul. And so it doesn't matter whether the body is small or big or rich or poor or high in society or low in society. Yeah. So I'm just so very happy that you have decided and agreed to come and attend our classes, and hope you will continue. So our Indian population is going strong, right? So Varshana Mataji here, if you can say Hare Krishna so that Mukesh can.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mukesh Prabhuji. Dandat Pranam. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
She's from Pune in India, Mukesh. So.
Okay.
And Mukesh Prabhuji is from where?
Meerut.
Okay. Meerut.
Okay, and so yeah, slowly he'll get to know all of you there. And yeah, and the second thing which I wanted to point out was about the Brahma Samhita, right? Now, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is my favorite book, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many people who speak, right? Can you give me examples of people who speak in the Srimad Bhagavatam? Kapil Dev speaks. Okay, one at a time. Yeah. Who else?
Narad Muni speaks.
Narad Muni.
Narad Muni. Okay. Who else speaks in Srimad Bhagavatam?
Vidur also asks a lot of questions.
Vidur asks a lot of questions, says Priyanka. Okay. Uddhav speaks. Okay. Yeah, you're missing the big ones. Come on.
Parikshit, right?
Parikshit Maharaj. Yes. Okay. And who else?
Sukhdev Goswami.
Yes. And Sukhdev and
Maitreya Rishi.
Sukhdev. Yes. Very good, Barsha. Sukhdev Goswami and which other Goswami? Huh?
Sutta Goswami.
Sutta Goswami. Yes.
Sutta Goswami, yeah.
Right. And then the Navi-yogendras will talk, right? Okay. All right. So there are, they talk, and then Brahma also speaks. Brahma also speaks, right? Brahma Vimohan Leela, right? So he speaks quite often. Even before the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he'll come in the 5th canto and he'll talk. And so we have noticed that when Brahma speaks, of course, the whole of Srimad Bhagavatam is written in Sanskrit. And so when Brahma speaks, it's a little bit, the Sanskrit is like Brahma. You know, Brahma is the man of this universe and, you know, the engineer of the universe at the topmost position. And he is, he's super intelligent, much more intelligent than we are, at least 4 times, because he has 4 the size of our head. Not that the intelligence is in the head. But anyway, his Sanskrit is also difficult. And then Brahma Samhita has been translated into English by none other than, who did the translation?
Saraswati Siddhant.
There you
Guru
go.
Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada.
Yes, 100 points. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj, who is the Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has not translated that. So he has translated, so he was not in America. When Prabhupada translated Srimad Bhagavatam into English, he was writing it for the Americans. Now, American English is a much easier English than British English, right?
Yes.
And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was at the time when the British rule was there. So people in India, even Indians who were in India and who learned English as a matter of their course study, their English was way beyond. You know, it's you saw Aruni Mataji read that one paragraph. So for us, you know, we'll have to sit with a dictionary and keep on opening the dictionary and see what are the words and what do each of these words mean, what exactly it means. So our progress in Brahma Samhita will be slightly slow. It won't be as fast as we might want it to be. But who's in a hurry, right? What's the big deal? Right? You can get Krishna conscious by just reading the very first verse of Brahma Samhita. What does the first verse of Brahma Samhita say?
Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa Sachidananda
Vigraha Adir Govinda Sarva
Karanam. Right. So Vijaya Mataji, what does that mean?
Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa.
Yes.
And Sachidananda Vigraha.
Okay. He's Sachidananda Vigraha.
He is Anadir Adir.
Yeah. she thinks in Sanskrit.
No. My language is close to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She thinks like that in Sanskrit language. So Ishvara
Sarva.
Yeah. So what does it mean? Ishvara Sarva Kṛṣṇa, what does that mean? Ishvara. What does Ishwar mean?
Controller.
Right? Sarva means?
Everybody.
Everybody. Kṛṣṇa
everybody.
Means, so what does it mean? Krishna is the
supreme controller.
Controller of all, right? Or which makes him the supreme controller, right?
He is Sachidananda Vigraha.
Right. So now you see this. It's the first line of Brahma Samhita says Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa. So we are. He's the supreme.
Govinda Sarva.
Yeah. Very good. So he's the supreme controller. Okay, and I'll come back to you for the next class, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji. But I just wanted to dwell a little bit on this one. So Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa, he's a controller. Now, isn't this good news that all of us, you know, how many are we on the call today? All of us have decided to take shelter of Krishna and take help from Krishna. We are not going anywhere to any of the demigods, right? Because what's going to happen with the demigods? What's the difference between getting things from demigods and getting things from Krishna?
Demigods are
those temporary.
Yes, Mataji.
And Varshana, what else?
That's what I was saying, that is temporary. Whereas, and they are the assistants of the Lord, and they get the sanction from him and then only give, then why not go directly to Krishna and take it?
Yeah, so they take permission from Krishna, so why not go and take it from him himself? And I see, and the second thing is that, you know, even if you kind of like push them and pull them, and when we say demigods, this is for Mukesh's benefit. Mukesh, we mean the Devta, right? Devta and versus Bhagwan. So the demigods will be Shivji and, you know, Durga, like that. So they are demigods. They are all under the control of Krishna. So if you put your faith and your energy and whatever you have into serving Krishna, then there's nothing better than that. And so one of the things that you said was that anything that they will give you is impermanent. For example, people go to Durga Devi and ask what from Durga Devi. And I hear some sort of a big noise I'm hearing. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Air conditioning. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yes.
So in Krishna consciousness, you're not supposed, because I worship the Divine Mother. I say prayers every day and I've been doing it for 25 years. So is that something that's not permitted? Because it's something that's very close to my heart.
You have to understand what is Divine Mother. Or what do you mean by Divine Mother? Durga is Divine Mother?
I mean, I do prayers of Durga and then Saundarya Lahari with this Tripura Sundari. I mean, I feel a strong connection to Krishna and to all the female, the female manifestations of the divine that I classify as the Divine Mother.
What about Radha Rani?
I don't know who's Radha. I mean, what do you mean by Radha? Oh, Radha Rani. Okay, I didn't hear you. Yeah, of course, Radha Rani as well. I would say. I mean, yeah, Divine Mother. Yes.
Yeah. So so Radha Rani is the supreme Divine Mother, right? Just we are saying that Krishna is the supreme there, right? Like among all, he's on top of the demigods. So it is, and we will read that in Brahma Samhita. That Durga that we worship, right? And particularly in the Bengal, she's worshipped as Kali. So they are expansions that come out of Radha Rani. So as long as we understand, and that's why we're saying that, as long as you go up, and when you are worshipping anybody that you're worshipping, if you are worshipping, for example, Shivji, we don't say that you don't worship Shivji. What we're saying is that you should have the right mood in which you are worshipping Shivji, right? So what should be the mood when we're worshiping? And in the beginning of the class, we were talking about mood, and Vidura's mood we talked about, and I was corrected that no, it was his wife who was peeling the bananas and all that. But right. So our mood is that when you look at Shivji, now Shivji can do things to you. He can grant you benedictions, right? Durga can also grant us benedictions. Kali can also do that, right? So if we are going to them and asking them for benedictions, they will give you benedictions. And as you all pointed out, but they will be temporary in nature. Radha Rani in her form as Durga will not be able to take you to Golok Vrindavan. You can only take people. How much can you give to a person? Let's first see that, right? If somebody comes and asks me for something, what will be my binding? What will be my boundaries of how much can I give to anybody?
But if they're all forms of Krishna, they're all manifestations of Krishna, then what difference does it make?
Right, good question. So let us assume, for the sake of our discussion, that all the demigods are managers, right? Managers, and Krishna is the CEO. Okay. So now when we go to a manager, ask manager for something, how much can the manager give? In real life, forget about Krishna, whatever. Manager, senior manager, director.
Yes, sir, limitations.
Right? There are limits, right? So your line manager might come and say, just come and say that, I can, well, you know what, you made that expense. Oh, this is more than $500. You spend $500 in a dinner. I can't approve it. It's beyond my approving capacity. I will have to go to my manager. You better tell me a good reason why you spend $500 on a dinner. So then you'll say, oh no, this was dinner for a customer. There were 14 from the customer, and this was a $8 billion customer. We had to take him to a 5-star hotel, and that's why 5-star hotels will be more expensive than $500. But just I'm saying like that, right? So we have to understand first that they will have limited powers. And classic example of that is Ravana. He wanted immortality, and he went to Brahma, right? And he pestered Brahma. Brahma said, I can't give it to you. So then he said, okay, he started raking his brains, which anyway is material and will not be able to come up with a nice solutions. He raked his brains, and then he said, okay, so then give me this benediction that I should not be killed by a human being. I should not be killed by a Rakshasa. I should not be killed by an animal. I should not be killed during the day. I should not be killed during the night. I should not be killed on the land. I should not be killed in the, air, sky. I should not be killed in the morning. Should not be killed in the night. Like that, he just day and night. He said all those things. And then Brahma said yes, right? But what happened, right? So these stories themselves are telling us that Krishna is the supreme. And anything that you try to get out of demigods and try to squeeze something out of them which are against the law of Krishna's land, then you will not be successful. So what I was trying to say here
is praying to the demigods against the law of Krishna.
Asking, asking them for benedictions is wrong.
No, not asking them for anything. Just not asking them for anything. Just praying. Just for the sound of the mantra.
Right. So you have to understand the meaning of the mantra, right? As long as you understand the meaning of the mantra, as long as you know that the mantras are glorifying them, right? And you have the right mantras. For example, I don't know whether you're there or not. We spent a long session on Kali. We read about Kali in one of the Srimad Bhagavatam lectures, that how she burst out of her DT form and she killed the people who were trying to kill Jar Bharat. Why? Because Jar Bharat was a devotee of the Lord, right? So what I'm trying to emphasize here, and you're not on the wrong path, Aruni Mataji, is that you have to worship the demigods in the right mood, right? And the right mood is that why should I worship anybody? Worship means you think they're worth something, you want to give them respect. Why do you want to worship? First, we have to see that, right? Why should I worship? Okay,
because I just feel a connection.
Mataji, may I say?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Varshana. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, I used to always worship Lord Shiva before coming to Krishna consciousness. And now when the DT comes in front of me, if any book I open and if I have Lord Shiva's, I only pray that you are always meditating upon Krishna. Please bless me that I also meditate upon him and serve him become a pure devotee and serve him. So that in that mood now, whenever I look at the DT of Lord Shiva, I request him for this, that please bless me. As you meditate, I also meditate on Krishna.
Right, because you're appreciating him as a devotee, right?
Yes.
So Aruni, you need to go and dig deeper into your heart, because sometimes we know we get things from cultural momentum. Sometimes we get things from our previous birth, right? You must have been doing this worship for a very long time and continue doing that. And that's why we had that story of Kali, you know? So back again to my question, and we will come back to your thing. How much can you give? How much can we give? To what capacity can I give to anybody?
Whatever we have, that's what we can give.
Yes, whatever you have, you can give, right? So whatever, according to my powers, I can sign an expense report of $500 or not. Those are my powers. And so if I were to say, somebody can say, you know, this city I don't like, can you please transfer me to New York? You know, it's a better place. Can you post me in San Francisco? So I can do all that, right? If it is in my power, I can do that. What is the maximum that I can do? I can bring them to my own home and I can say, you come live with me, right? That's the maximum I can do as far as their movements are concerned. So similarly, when we are praying to demigods, where can they take us? They can say, okay, come, you have done such excellent worship, come and live with me. And the demigods all live in the material world. They live in the material planets which perish. So once they're perishing, then I'm back into the cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death again. So these fine literatures are telling us that, okay, there are two ways that you can do. Go back to Godhead. You can go this gradual way. And on the way, we can, worship just these devotees and forget about Krishna. And that's fine, because after a long time, these devotees will tell you, hey, you know what? You better go there. You go there to Krishna. That's the best I can give you. Beyond this, I can't. So if you're worshiping Shiva, you can go to Kailash Parvat, and that's about it, right? Beyond that, you can't go. So now, in contrast to what Varshana Mataji used to worship Shiva all the time, I actually never used to worship Shiva from my very childhood. Like, you have a strong connection, Aruni, for the Devi there. I had a very strong connection with Krishna. I come from a family of Shaivites, and I used to have a separate altar, and everybody used to make fun of me and laugh at me. And what are you doing with Krishna, Murli Wala, like that, But I had that very strong connection to that much extent that, it was like, no, don't bother me with Shiva. Don't even talk to me about Shiva, like that.
Actually, Shiva gives boons so fast.
That is
and anybody ask, he will give boon. Like that Markandeya, that's what, no, not Markandeya.
To no, the one who put the hand on the head.
I put the hand, Bhasmasura.
Yeah, Bhasmasura. Yeah.
Bhasmasura.
Yeah.
So when Parvati runs everywhere, he has to run, because Bhasmasura, he wants to put his hand on Shiva and try the boon, how it works.
Yes, and
Shiva starts running. Then Parvati has to come like a Mohini and then make him dance and Finally, in the dance, he puts his hand himself.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, there's so many variations. Yeah, but the point that I was trying to put over here was that although I was not very much attracted to Shiva like that, but when I read the Srimad Bhagavatam and I read the glories of Shiva as a devotee, I said, like, what was I doing? You know, I should respect. And
he in fact praised Krishna.
Let me finish my thought. So he was so Brahma Samhita actually opened my eyes towards demigods also. For demigods, I had no problems because my parents had already taught me, you know, demigod worship mat karo, don't do that. So we were focused on, you know, Shiva, Shivji, and I was like the Krishna person. So my eyes opened after reading the Srimad Bhagavatam to be more tolerant and to understand. Also to understand that why would Krishna, like I recited that verse from Bhagavatam, Mumuksho Ghora Rupan Hitva Bhuta Prajinata. They're saying that those who are seeking liberation from the material world, they will give up all the Ghor Rupas. You know, Ghor Rupas of the God, they will give those up. They will also give up the Prajep Shava, they will also give up the demigods. Why they give up? Because they want to get liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Because birth, death, old age, disease. These are problems that will bother us over and over again. And these are things that we cannot solve by ourselves. Only devotional service is going to get you out of this cycle of birth and death. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't, you know, when I do the prayers, I don't think, I mean, maybe that it's not, because all the spiritual teachings say, you know, be one-pointed, think of one God. But, you know, I respect all the spiritual masters. I have a connection with Devi. I have a connection with Kṛṣṇa. I come from a community and family of Shiva worshippers as well. But it's not that I don't care about Shiva, but I mean, I accept it all, but it's my personal connection. And when I do the mantras and prayers, I don't think about boons, like I want this boon or that boon. I just like the sound and it makes me feel stronger. And I like it. And so I just follow that connection, but that doesn't mean, I mean, I've always had a strong connection to Kṛṣṇa as well since I was a child, but you know, so it's just, I have to include everybody because that's how I feel, you know?
As long as you're including them in the right spirit. As long as you, because 90%, 99.99% of the people who worship demigods are not worshiping them because they feel a connection. They're not worshiping them because they like the hymns. They are worshiping them because they want something really quick.
They want something.
They want something.
They want something.
And it is like,
I've never done that. I've never even thought of that. Yeah.
Good. You're good. That's why you're here. And by the way, I noticed that Sulekha Mataji also joined us here on the call here. And it was Sukharupa, were you always there and I ignored you, or did I see you just now? Well, anyway, Sukharupa Mataji.
I was there, Mataji.
And I didn't even ask you to read anything. Did we miss you? So
I think I joined after that, the reading.
Okay, good. Yeah, so we were back to, okay, so we took care of that point. I'm glad Mataji, that got cleared up. So I was saying that when we go to, when we read the Brahma Samhita, so this was translated into English by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So you'll find the English to be also to be pretty difficult here. So we'll be going pretty slow, and just one verse is enough. So Ishvara Parma Kṛṣṇa. So he's the controller of all the controllers, right? So that we have to keep that in mind as long as we know that. Ishvara Parma Kṛṣṇa. Then Satchidanand Vigraha. So what does that mean? That
always bliss.
Full of bliss, knowledge, and eternity.
Eternality, right? So full of bliss, knowledge, and eternality is what we are all looking for. We are all looking for some happiness, aren't we? Ananda, right? And then we are looking for some knowledge. Ye nahi aata, wo nahi aata, I don't know this. How to do this? How do that? How do I get out of here? So that we need. And then the third thing is that we want eternality, because we are sick and tired of people dying from our lives, or things breaking down, right? Including relationships and things like that. So we want some, you know, something really solid that's going on, and Kṛṣṇa is there. He has got all three of them. Sat, Chit, and Anand. He's the form. Vigraha. He's the form. So he has got a form. Okay. So Ishvara Parma Kṛṣṇa, Satchidanand Vigraha, and then
Anadir Adir Govinda.
Anadir Adir Govinda. What does that mean?
He is eternal.
Anadir Adi.
Adi, and beginning and
he has no beginning and no end.
No ending.
Anadir Govinda.
Govinda.
Sarva
Karana Karana.
Sarva Karana means
for all.
All
Karana means
all reasons.
All right.
Karanam. He's the cause
of all causes.
Cause of all causes.
The cause of all causes, right? Yeah. So Krishna is the cause of all causes. So that we just understand. That we just understand. So when we go to the Brahma Samhita like that, we will understand. And what I was saying was that even if you understand this, even if you just read first verse of Brahma Samhita and I die tonight, that's fine. Because I've understood the essence of all Vedic literature.
Beautiful meaning.
Beautiful
Brahma Samhita, all the slokas.
The Brahma Samhita is very, very beautiful. And then for those of you who are new to this particular book, this book was actually in Kali Yuga. This book was fairly recently, because when we talk about time, we talk about 1 million years, 2 million years, like that, right? So this was discovered fairly recently, about 500 years ago. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, soon after he took sannyas in Bengal. And when he took sannyas and he started going down south on a pilgrimage. Now his pilgrimage was of a different variety of kind of a pilgrimage. Normally we go to places of pilgrimage to purify ourselves, right? We go take bath in the Ganges, or we go to Rameshwaram, we take dip in the sea, and so on and so forth, right? So he was not going on a pilgrimage to purify himself, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the personality of Godhead himself. He's Krishna and Radha combined together, and he comes in Kali Yuga as a Chinna Avtara. Chinna means hidden. The Chinna Avtara means a hidden avatar, that he will not declare himself that he's an avatar of God. And like Krishna declared, right, that he's God. We just now read in the Universal Form, chapter 11 of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is saying that I am this. You see, I'm killing, I'm going to kill all of them. You see, I'm chewing and crushing their heads in my mouth. Like that in the Universal Form. And then later on, he'll say, Man mana bhava mad bhakto, imad yaji mam namaskaru. That you worship me, you bow down to me. He's saying that very clearly, because he can say that. Because he is who he is, right? He should say that, right? For example, if I'm the CEO of a company, I will not say, if somebody asks, like, who are you, Shraddha? Like, okay, I am the CEO of, Kṛṣṇa Incorporated, or something like that. I will not say that I'm the peon of that company. Why will I say that? Because I am who I am. So Krishna is who he is. That's why he's saying, I am this, like that. So he says that. I lost my thought. Yeah, so he was going down on the pilgrimage, but he will not say that he's God, because he comes here to show us how devotional service is to be performed. What is a devotee? He wants to demonstrate that to us. That's one of the reasons he comes, right? There are many others, but I'll leave that for some other day. So he, as he was going down south, his idea of going on that pilgrimage was not to get purified himself, because Krishna is the purest of the pure. He was actually going down to purify others who came into contact with him. And Chaitanya Charitamrita has got so many stories telling us about how Krishna purified them down there, right? And then he finally down south he goes, and in one of the temples, I think it was Ahobalam, I'm forgetting the name of the temple, but it's given in this book.
Deep south, Kerala.
In Kerala, yeah. What is that Vayu temple? Getting the name of the temple. Anyway, we'll come back, yeah. So he goes there, and he feels very deep symptoms of ecstasy. So what happens is that when you feel you're very close to God or something related to God, then there is inside your body, there's a soul which is transcendental, means that it is not material. So he is in that transcendental mood, and he's having the transcendental connection. So when you're having that transcendental connection with somebody, sometimes what happens is that mood in which you are relating with something with God, that mood sometimes starts to manifest through your body. And then you will see that those type of people who are having that transcendental connection with Krishna, the ultimate yoga, those people will start showing things like, they will start shivering, their incessant flow of tears. Like tears will come so much that you can put glasses over here and collect the water, like that. So that much they will start flowing. So that kind of ecstasy started happening to him. And in the temple, most of the temples, used to also have books there. And in the books, books were also our deities, so their books were kept there to worship there. And Vijaya Mataji, you should get some water to drink. So get some water. So he was feeling that, and then his eyes fell on the Brahma Samhita. Now it was not like this as a book. It was written on palm leaves, because in those days people used to write on palm leaves. So it was there. And then when he found that, he read through it, he realized that, oh, this is the Brahma Samhita. right? Samhita means a collection. And Brahma Samhita is a collection of verses that are spoken by Brahma. When did he speak? That will all come as part of the book. Today, I'm just going to give you the introduction of the book here, right? So when he finds that there's only one chapter, he actually asked everybody there around him in the temple that they should read. They should read that book. And then he got it copied. So, it is not like, you take the book, you open it, put it on a scanner and you scan it or put it on a photocopier and press a button and a copy comes out. No, he had to have somebody sit down and transcribe that again on palm leaves. Now, when it comes to writing on palm leaves, what you do is you take a big palm leaf and you have a stylus, which will be a pen with no ink in it, but it'll have a very pointed nib. And then you start scratching on the palm leaf with your pen, whatever you have supposed to write. And wherever and you'll put it out into the sun to dry. And wherever you have scratched it, it will become black in color, like that. So it was a painful process, leaf by leaf. You have to write and dry it. And then if you want to write on the back, you have to first write like that. So it was an evolved process to copy a book at that time. But he asked somebody to copy, and he took that book. When he went back to Puri, then he gave it to many others. And then many other people copied that book. So this is Brahma Samhita.
Rameshwaram, he went to Rameshwaram.
Yeah, thank you. So
Setubandhana.
Yeah.
Please.
And so here, this book is just the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. There are 100 chapters in Brahma Samhita. They are all gone. They are gone. They were not there. In that temple where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovered the Brahma Samhita, there was only the 5th chapter over there. Why? 2 reasons, right? One was, we have discussed this a lot just now, is that in this material world, things will perish, right? Things will either burn down or they'll just perish because of time, right? Kṛṣṇa says in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which we read just now, verse number 32, as time, he kills everything, right? So the influence of time, people become old, people die, like that, right? So that was one thing. That's one reason these things disappear. Another thing is, and there was a lot of criticism that I used to hear when I was young, but I did not understand it at that time, and as to why it was there, and I took the criticism on my face. But later on, now I understand and have gone deeper into the Shastras thanks to our Acharyas who explain things to us. So the criticism was that India is so bad at maintaining its scriptures and preserving its scriptures. Now, right? We are not good at preserving these things, and that's why everything is lost. So we don't have a copy of this and a copy of that, right? Now, the thing is that one of the reasons is that earlier Vedic knowledge was transferred by word of mouth, right? You spoke something and someone else heard it, and that's it, right? You would do that. You read things like that. And the second reason was that you need to have the qualification to read a particular book. So if you all voted and chose to read Brahma Samhita, then you can congratulate yourself for having made such a nice decision to read this book, because so many people don't even know that this exists. And so many people, will never have a chance to read this. Now this Brahma Samhita, in the Brahma Samhita, Brahma is going to talk about a lot of things in a very precise and a compact manner. Because remember, he's a super intelligent being. These people can understand things in a very compact manner. When you have knowledge, then very few instructions can also work equally well in comparison to having to make a big document full of all the instructions. For example, suppose you are a daughter-in-law in a family, okay? Or, son-in-law in a family, whatever, right? And there are guests coming in that house, right? So usually daughters-in-law, they cook, they help with the feast. And so a mother-in-law will say, all right, such and such a person is coming, my daughter is coming. And so you cook. And the mother-in-law says, okay. A daughter-in-law will ask, what do I cook? She'll say, cook the usual. Like, cook the usual. What does that mean? Cook the usual, right? But if you know enough, if you have cooked with her enough times, many times, you know what her usual means, right? When a person of that caliber is coming to my home, this is the kind of feast we lay out, to cook the usual. If you're knowledgeable, then you will understand, right? For example, or you give the husband and the men in the home, if you ask them, can you help? Oh yeah, some big personality is coming to a home. Everybody needs to pitch in. We need to cook. Everybody help. Okay, yeah. the men in the family, they say, okay, fine, we'll help you chop the vegetables. All right. So now the potato comes and you're saying, how do I chop the potato? They'll ask, how do you chop the potato? So your answer can be, I'm going to make Goranga potatoes today. Right? If he's knowledgeable, he will know what he's supposed to do with the potato if it's going to ultimately become a Goranga potato. He knows how he's supposed to slice and dice. If he doesn't know, then he'll ask, like, should I make 4 pieces, 2 pieces, 1 pieces, 2 pieces?
What size of piece?
What size piece? He'll ask that question, right? So when you're knowledgeable, then a little bit of instruction is good enough for you. So at the level of Brahma, Kṛṣṇa gave the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, which is 18,000 verses. Kṛṣṇa gave the entire Srimad Bhagavatam to...
One is also last. Is that right?
Yes, in 4 verses. Only 4 verses he gave, and they are in the Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 9th chapter, right? So 33, 30, 34, 35, 36, like that. So he gives it like that. So you will get it. So Brahma, in Brahma Samhita, Brahma will also speak to you things in a very precise manner, like that. So,
Mataji, can I ask you something?
Yes, please, yeah.
This Brahma Samhita, mostly they sing in the morning. Mostly the slokas, what they had is only 11 of them. They are very popular. And rest of them, they are not singing every day or anything. Because there are so many, 52 or something are there in the book.
Yeah.
So 52 we cannot sing, but only 11 of them. We always for Radha-yatra and everything.
For paucity of time. Because time, we don't have time, right? People will not. They are singing in the morning and then they're waiting for brunch. You can't make them read 62 verses from Bhagavatam. Well, in our temple, we read from verse 29 to 62.
That's what I'm saying. 11 of them. They.
No, not 11. 29 to 62 is not 11 verses.
29 to 62.
Yeah, it's a big number, right? And so Brahma over here will talk a lot. He'll talk about Kṛṣṇa. He will talk about the sons.
Yeah.
He will talk about Shiva, right? He'll talk about demigods. He'll talk about what happens. He'll talk about the devotees. He'll talk about good behavior. He'll talk about how to get what you want. He'll talk about austerities. And then most important thing is that he describes Kṛṣṇa's lands, Kṛṣṇa's devotee, and he glorifies Kṛṣṇa. So some of the people will pick up some of the few verses from the Govindam
Adipurusham tamaham bhajami.
So he'll go and do that, right? So good idea is to read the whole of Brahma Samhita, but bad idea is to rush through it, right? I mean, if you do one verse a week, 62 verses practically will mean 2 years. It will take us 2 years of complete this. 2 years of, if we do it every Saturday, like that, right? Like that. I mean, 62 verses will be
first one, that Ishvara Parama Kṛṣṇa, I have the meaning here. Kṛṣṇa, who is known as Govinda, is a supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes.
There you go. There you go. Thank you so much.
Really good.
Like that, right? So there are so many things there to talk about. And since he talks and glorifies Kṛṣṇa a lot, and I had talked to you about the hellish planets. I talked to you about heavenly planets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what about Kṛṣṇa's own abode, which is described in Brahma Samhita, right? But it's also described in one song. And I just thought that we will finish today's session with that song. Do you think it's a good idea, or should we just discuss further?
Just tell me that song. Tell that song. I want to hear.
Garima wants song. Okay. Song. I start trying to say something. Am I sharing the screen with you? No. Okay, let me bring up the thing first. All right. Do file open. And I'm going to share the screen. Please tell me whether you're going to see the song or not. It's a song written by Narottam Das Thakur, who is in our lineage. And short 3 verses, small song coming up on a screen. Please confirm. Right, so this is Vrindavan Ramyasthan, Vasanti Ras, amorous pastimes in the spring. So it's defining Vrindavan. How do you like this place?
Beautiful. Beautiful. I want to go there.
You want to go there? No.
Oh God. If Krishna is there, I will go.
Okay, so first we will do the translation so that you understand, and then I will sing it, and tonight I'll record it. This song is available from my website. If you go to prayers, you'll be able to download this PDF and keep it with you.
I won't.
Don't memorize it, please. Don't memorize it.
Why?
Don't. Okay, just relish this song. Okay, all right. So, Vijay Mataji, why don't you read this?
Translation. The beautiful place known as Vrindavana is a transcendental abode in the spiritual world and is composed entirely of divine touched stones. There are many chanting temples bedecked with costly jewels. The royal swans, known as Rajhamsa, frolic in the water of the river Yamuna, which surrounds that transcendental island. In the midst of the divine river is a beautiful golden lotus of 100 petals. Oh God.
Like that description? Okay. So who else has the camera on? Sulekha, do you want to read?
Yeah, I can read.
Okay. So the next translation, this one.
In the center of the lotus is a golden platform surrounded by 8 petals. Situated upon those 8 petals are the 8 principal Sakhis, headed by Lalita and Vishakha. In the center of the surrounding petals, the divine couple presides, seated upon a jeweled throne. In the company of Lord Shama sits the beautiful Radhika.
Okay, Rupa, are you in a position to read? Could you read
I can read.
Okay, so then read the last. Here.
The waves of the beauty and the sweetness are emanating showers of nectar. Yeah, emanating shower of nectar in the form of their talks, which are filled with the flood of laughing and joking as they address one another. Narottama Das says, may this eternal pastime overflowing with the transcendental joy be ever manifest in my heart.
Ah, beautiful.
Okay, so now tell me some of the things that struck your mind.
100 petals lotus.
Okay.
And with Sakhis and 8 petals. And then in the middle, Radha and Krishna.
Yes, what else?
Swans, jewel.
How are they talking?
They're
sweetly, right? It's at the waves emanating were very sweet. Okay, so have that mood that what we are doing, we are describing Vrindavan, right? And we are
the lotus flower.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to sing the tune so that you get that. And tonight, if I have time, or maybe later tomorrow, I will just go and record it so that you can get the tune. Now, sometimes we say the tune of this is like, a tune that hangs in your head, as Vaisheshika Prabhu says that he always talks about earworm, right? So that tune kind of, you hear a particular tune and the tune plays in your head the whole day. This is like one of those kind of catchy tunes that you get. Okay. Here we go. Are you able to see it? Am I sharing? Not yet. Okay, let me know if when you start seeing that. Okay, raise your hand to let me know that you can see it. Vijay, can you see it? Okay. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama Ratna Mandira Manohara Avrita Kalindi Nire Rajahamsa Keli Kore Tahe Shobhe Kanak Kamala Tar Madhye Hema Pita Ashtadale Beshtita Ashtadale Pradhana Naika Tara Madhye Ratna Sane Boshiya Chendui Jane Shama Sange Sundari Radhika Orupa Lavanya Rasi Amiya Podiche Khasi Hasya Parihasa Sambha Shane Narotama dasa koe nitya lila sukha moe sadai spuruka mora mane. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama, Rama, Hare
Everybody sing. Unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Rama, Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Vrindavan Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama
Rama,
Ramano Hara Vrindavan Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani
Mandira Manohara Avrata Lindire Keli Kore Tahe Shabhe Kanaka Kamala
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare
Danda Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani
Mani Dhama Ratna Mandirama Nohara Avrata Alindire
Rajahamsa
Keli Kore Tahe Shabe Kanaka Kamala
Tahe Shobhe Kanak Kamala. What does that mean?
Tahe
This
Shobhe
Vijay Lalita, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji, please unmute yourself first. Unmute yourself and then speak.
Oh, okay. I did the opposite.
Tahe Shobhe Kanaka Kamala. Kanaka Kamala. Kanaka means gold.
Golden. And Kamal means?
Kamal means flower, lotus flower.
Lotus, right. So, Tahe Shobhe. Tahe, in the midst of all that water, they have described that. Shobhe, smells splendorously shines. Kanaka Kamala. So, they're showing a beautiful lotus. Like that.
Imagining itself is so.
Yeah, it's very nice. And you see that they have this habit in our scriptures. When we are defining things, we are always defining them in terms of lotus.
Lotus, yeah.
Eyes, the lotus feet. This Vrindavan is like a lotus. You see this Vrindavan over here. Mama Vrindavan. This is also shaped like a lotus. You see many things are shaped like a lotus. So like that, with this tune and this song in your mind, I'd like to say, Kripa Sindhubhyev cha
Wonderful today. I like this song, but it will go in my mind now.
It will go in your mind. Very good.
I don't know the words. I don't want to use wrong words.
Yeah, it is available on the. It's available on the website. Vijay Lakshmi Mataji. Yeah, it's available on the website. You can download Nitya Sankirtan.
Not in Vaishnava songs, no?
It must be there. Yeah, but in this form with the synonyms and all that, you know, it's in this. This I kind of created from various sources and put together all in one.
And KK songs, is it there?
KK songs should have that. Yeah, should have that.
Yeah. It is there, Mataji.
Yeah, KK songs doesn't have synonyms usually.
Vrindavana, what is that first line, Mataji?
It is called, let me just.
Ramya. Okay.
Yeah. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana. Do you want to go to Vrindavan after I showed you this trailer of Vrindavan?
I'll go in my dream now.
There you go.
No, Mataji, come to India. We both will go.
That's good. That's good. I will write to. But this कहाँ कौन करे and corona क्या corona कुछ नहीं corona मालूम नहीं होता है. क्या करूँ ना मालूम नहीं है. ये करुणा के बाद में तो कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. I want to go.
Bhakta Rohit, so good to see you here. Yeah, thank you. And Chandan Prabhu also. Dandavat pranams. Okay, so then we are going to meet tomorrow in the morning for Bhagavad Gita class at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 9:30 a.m.
9:30, my 9:30.
It's 7 o'clock in the evening for you, Varshana Mataji.
10 o'clock.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
9:30 for you, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji.
So when are we singing this song again?
Next Saturday. Very good. You got a earworm now. I think I accomplished what I set out to accomplish today. I wanted all of you to sing this madly for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mataji.
All right.
Yes, Mataji, the tune is very catchy, actually.
It is a catchy.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna to everybody. Thank you very much.
Mataji, is there any way that we can finish Brahma Samhita not in 2 years but in 1 year? Some way, Mataji, if you can do.
Not possibly.
Why 1 year?
It's in our head. That's why these things are in the head only. The mind tells you that.
With meanings and going on, it will take time.
Yeah, it takes time, yeah.
But it's beautiful, Brahma Samhita. I just did only from 29 to 11, 11 slokas.
11 slokas, yeah.
That itself, that meaning itself is very beautiful.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
And thank you, Barsha and Raksha, Asta and Nishta.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Every one of you watching us on Facebook. Dandavat pranam. See you all in a few hours from now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.